Did you hear Obama is going after them oil speculators? He says they're driving up the price of oil.
Yes, I heard that. He's got to have someone to blame.
You sound a tad skeptical.
I'll try to explain. Let's suppose you wanted to hire a Columbian hooker in 1 week, but all you have is $47.
How can you be sure I can get me a Columbian hooker for 47 smackers?
That is the point. To ensure you are not lonely in Columbia, you might want to speculate and buy a futures contract for a Columbian hooker.
Now, where would I go to get a futures contract for a Columbian hooker?
Good question. I bet some Secret Service agents wish they had known. You see, if you could find a futures contract, you would be guaranteed a Columbian hooker for exactly $47.
Outstanding. Could you explain how that works?
Okay. First you must find a counterparty willing to sell you a futures contract for a Columbian hooker at $47 to be settled in 1 week. Of course, you may have to borrow some shekels to pay for the contract.
So, what happens if the hooker charges $57?
Then, the counterparty must cough up $10 to make up the difference.
Okay, what if the hooker only charges $37?
Then, the counterparty gets the extra $10. You see, you bought price certainty, and the counterparty got paid for taking all the risk.
I see. So how does all this affect the hooker?
It does not affect the hooker. The hooker still charges whatever the market will bear. Pun intended.
Good one. So, you're saying speculators have no impact on the final price, right? Isn't oil more complicated than hookers?
Sure. Can you imagine being an airline and having to sell tickets to the GSA for flights in 6 months without knowing the future price of jet fuel? You bet oil is complicated, but it is also a huge market, and trying to manipulate it is very risky. In the end, if oil gets too expensive, market forces will intervene, and manipulators will be worse off than an Indonesian labradoodle.
Oh, that's harsh. So, what is driving up the price of oil today?
The real question is, what is driving down the value of the US dollar?
I'd rather think about hookers.
Me too. The truth is, we are all screwed.
Hot diggity dog. Isn't it the whole idea with hookers?
I was not talking about hookers.
Oh, darn.